when I hear raindrops. When I hear raindrops and thunder, it relaxes me. It takes me to a calm place. And I'm just glad all you on. I see Sandra Strong. I'm looking at the screen. People are steadily popping up. So forgive me if I don't say everybody's name, but I give y'all a chance to speak. But I'm Anthony Tidwell, like Scarlett said. I was just a kid that loved to paint and draw. And the Lord put it on my heart to lead me in the right direction to, hey, to be here with you guys. And it's gonna be a special day because one of your designs that's created out this workshop will be a permanent mural downtown Little Rock for people to enjoy and see for years to come. So I'm gonna start with my PowerPoint. I'm gonna pull my PowerPoint up. Let me share my screen. Today you are in Mural Painting 101. And actually it's actually the design part of it. We want to take your design, whatever you come up with in your mind, and put it on paper. So today is the Mural Painting 101 GetSmART Learning Series through the Arkansas Arts Council. And this is the agenda that we will follow today. We'll start off with our intro, and we're gonna learn about the key factors before you start your mural. Art supplies, make sure you got your art supplies on hand. The design process, we're gonna develop a mock design, and you will email it to me, or you can text it to me at c4kartclasses@gmail.com, and I'll have that up at the end of the day. And then there's also, like Scarlett said, there's an in-person component, and I will talk about that later towards the end. And at the end of the day, and during the closing, any questions you may have, or you just want to talk to me, by all means, I'm here. All right, now let's check and see who's all on. If you don't have to say anything, but if you want to, I would love to hear from who's all on the call. You can unmute yourself and go one at a time if you like to speak.
I'm Michelle Walls from Little Rock, or North Little Rock now. I'm a teacher, my first time doing this, but I'm excited.
Great. All right, thanks for being on, Michelle.
Good morning, Anthony. This is Sandra. So excited this morning.
I'm glad to see you, Sandra.
Yeah.
Not Sandra.
Good morning, I'm Sean with Essential Pathways.
Thank you, Sean, especially for bringing all those young creatives to the table. You never know what may happen.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
I'm Allison Tucker. I'm an artist. I've done a couple murals, but I'm always wanting to learn more about mural painting. I've been learning along the way, so any tips are good.
All right. Well, it's going to be real basic now. You may be more advanced than me. So, but I want to keep it on a level that everybody can understand and have fun.
I got a couple, but I've learned a lot just in a year of doing it. So okay. I'll be surprised if I don't learn something.
All right. All right. Thanks for being on, Allison.
Hi, I'm Amelia.
Hey, Amelia. I see you prepared and ready to go. You give me about 5 minutes and we're gonna jump into it, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Brandy Lucas and I'm an artist, and I've been wanting to create a mural for a long time, so I'm excited.
Awesome, Brandy. You picked the right place to be today then. Yeah. Anyone else?
I was gonna let everybody else go, but hey everyone, my name is DeJuan Wilson. Most people call me Juan, and I'm excited to be here. Anthony, I got a personal invite from him, and I'm just ready to network, connect, and learn about murals because I do a lot of them myself, but it's like someone said, it's more out here to learn.
Awesome, glad you're on, man. I don't want to rush nobody. If you want to speak, by all means, say something. It's recorded and it's going to be around for a little while before it disappears. So if you want to say a few words before I get started, by all means, you can do so. Okay, well, we're going to move on. We're going to move on. We are here to create a design for a mural in downtown Little Rock. The design created today will then be presented to the Downtown Little Rock Partnership, which graciously donated the mural space at 8th and Main Street for a community built mural. The mural design chosen will come to life during a day-long community event from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, June 25th. I will lead the Unity mural on site with hands-on teaching so that participants can get opportunity to learn the ins and outs of mural painting. All volunteers are welcome. So everybody on the call, even if your design doesn't get chosen, you are welcome to come and help out. The public art has the power to transform spaces and impact communities. We're thrilled to help introduce emerging artists to this art form and educating the next generation of murals. This was said by Ms. Holstrom, Executive Director of Downtown Little Rock Partnership. We still have people joining us, so I have to stop my screen. Okay, key factors before we get started. Time. And the time of actually the design process, today we only have 2 hours to create a design. But you also got to take in consideration if you was out there and you doing the mural, you got to think about the environment, how hot it is. Can you take the heat? Can you take the cold? Will the paint stand up in the cold weather? If it's storming or raining, will it stop you from completing your work? So key factors in doing murals is time. And this part, the conceptual design of it, of just creating the design, we have 2 hours to create the design. Now, cost and securing funding, that's very major, but we've been blessed with the Downtown Partnership and also with Arkansas Arts Council. So all the supplies is taken care of, the space is taken care of, the wall has been donated. And we got to also think about the space that you're actually painting on. I won't spend a lot of time on the scale, the size of the wall, the proportions, because it's all a mathematical formula that you can use to enlarge your drawing to fit on any wall or interior wall or exterior wall. But key factors, the space, what you're gonna paint on, the surface, what texture, what kind of paint what kind of paint will make sure to stay on there for a long time. And you got to also think about, is the mural going to be permanent or temporary? If it's permanent, it's probably going to be more expensive. The supplies that you need for permanent cost a little bit more than the temporary paint. And you must obtain permits. I do not want anybody to go out of here. I want to do a disclaimer now and start drawing on people's walls if you don't have permission. That is called vandalism. If you don't have permission to paint and draw on somebody's property, that's vandalism. And but we've been blessed today. We have permits from the City of Little Rock and Arts Council, so all that is taken care of. So these are key factors when you think about mural painting. And right now we're on the design end of it, the very beginning, from taking a vision in your mind and putting it on paper for so they can choose what design that they like. And we only have 2 hours to do that. Our supplies needed for today, very simple. If you don't have them now, please take your time and gather all the supplies you may need. We need a pencil, need paper, an eraser. The rulers, you may not necessarily need a ruler, because I'm gonna show you an easy way of scaling our drawing up, make sure it'll fit on the wall and the space. So not necessarily, if you don't have a ruler, it's fine. And also something to color with. I like to see bold colors. For some reason, all the murals I do, they're very colorful. But you have to have a pencil, paper, eraser, and something to color with today. Now the conceptual design, what I was speaking earlier about, it's what's in your mind, you want to put it in paper. But when designing a mural, students need to know to keep in mind the important elements of mural painting is not like drawing at home on a desk, or you just doodling, or you on an easel painting. It's a little different. The design will be very large and reflect the community it's placed in. So the scaling of the artwork is going to be enlarged, and people can ride by and see it. So it's a little different than drawing, doodling at home, and nobody's going to see it but you or your mom or your refrigerator. So you got to take in consideration of the community you're in. And this is the community. I want everybody to get an idea of where your mural, your possible design will be at. It's on 8th Street, parking garage. It's 8th and Main, downtown Little Rock. It's a pretty neat location. It's a rectangle. I look at it like, I'll break it down real simple. It's 2 large rectangles. But it's 8th Street parking garage, downtown Little Rock. This is another view of it from Main Street. But your design, if it's chosen, this is where it'll be. Now, coming up with a theme before you get started. This is just, you may already have an idea what you want to put there. But if you don't, sometimes people have a hard time coming up with ideas. And this is a little something that may trigger some creativity. How do you decorate your room at home? What kind of images and objects make you feel comfortable and able to cope with the day ahead? Incorporate these ideas in your design. Also, if you could give a friend one special word to help him or her feel strong and positive about life, what would it be? Use that word in a sentence that expresses a positive lifestyle. And then what images or colors come to mind when you think of things like that? So this is your theme of your artwork if you don't already have an idea of what you're going to draw. This is just ways to spark creativity. And observe the location. I showed you a few images earlier, but I'm going to show you a video where I'm actually walking and recording the space so you can get a better idea of where the mural may be placed. But look at how the place of the mural works compositionally within the environment. Consider the community demographics. Talk with community members to get a sense of what is important. And we have already done this. The Arkansas Arts Council already done this. And that's why they want to build a community mural. They want to incorporate more, they want to incorporate youth. They want to incorporate different entities. So this part has already been done. And you can also investigate the social, political, and historical context of the community. All this is already priorly done. Now let's develop a mock design. Are you ready to develop a mock design? I want you to fold your paper. I'm gonna do step by step before we get started. I'm gonna just go through I'm gonna go through this slide, but the next slide, we're gonna actually get started. We're gonna represent the wall by folded paper. That's gonna give us a better idea of the size of the wall. And I could spend 2 hours talking about scaling and mathematical formulas, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna fold the paper instead. And the complexity of your design. I do not, I'm gonna say I don't want, but I like simple but complex, because there's going to be from 10 to 20 to 30 people out there recreating your design on the wall, and they're gonna be artists from all levels. Now, so I like for the design to be simple but complex and very colorful. Now let's get started. Take one sheet of paper. Take one sheet of paper. Hold it vertically and fold it in half. Ms. Scarlett,
Yes,
if
yes,
anybody have any questions, need me to stop, let me know.
I will.
Okay. So you take this sheet of paper vertically and fold it in half. Give everybody time to do that. Then you take it, same thing, and fold it one more time, vertically. Vertically, excuse my French. Do the same thing one more time. And make sure you fold it nice creases. Try to get it even best you can, best you can. Then once folded, you should be able to open it up. And you have 4 different segments on your page. Now each segment represents the wall. So we're only going to draw on one segment. You got this much room to create your design. I did this for a reason because we only have less than 2 hours to create a design. And if I gave you a whole page, it might take too long. I want you to put your design, what you think is going to look good on that wall, in one segment of the page, horizontally. Here's an example. Draw here. This is a little quick what I did this morning. Is everybody up to speed? I'm gonna stop sharing now. I want to see everybody. Can everybody show me their page? Wow. Okay, all right, all right. This is gonna speed up the process. This represents when you take a picture of your artwork and you take the best picture possible, crop it out, and you send it to me, the computer can mathematically scale this up to fit on the wall. So it'll save me an hour explaining about formulas and mathematical formulas of scaling it up. You put your entire design, entire design on this one segment. Now I want to show a video of what the wall looks like instead of just a picture. I want to show a video. Let me share my screen. Really take time and think about your paper, your canvas that you're going to draw on, and where your image is going to be. Let you look at it one more time. All right, somebody asked about the columns. Don't worry about the columns. Don't worry about the columns. Once we start painting on it, it's gonna all blend together. Don't worry about the columns. So I want your entire design on this, in this one segment. So you can get your pencil, start drafting. Like I said, time is crucial. We only have, like now it's almost 10:30. So we only have an hour and a half left to, I want to see what y'all create. And I'm gonna continue going on with my presentation, but I want you guys drawing and creating. I want you to, and you got 4, and you can also, if you finish fast, if you got one already done, go ahead to the next one. You got 4 chances to, not chances, but you got four different canvases to work on. And the column's gonna be included inside the rectangle. So just pretend like the columns is part of this canvas. Now, I'm gonna keep talking while y'all drawing. That's what made how I made it through school. I was always doodling while my teacher was talking. I would draw my notes. I would draw what the teacher was talking about, and for some reason I can remember it better. But I'm gonna continue with a few things, but I want y'all drawing, creating an idea, and putting it on paper. So everybody should be drawing on their segment of their page. We have an hour and a half, maybe an hour and a half for y'all to complete at least one design. There's an example. But I want you to keep in mind how the mural will be viewed, like the video I showed you guys. That's me walking on Main Street. I'm walking on Main Street, walking up to that mural, to the space. People will be able to see that when they driving up and down Main Street. Will it be seen from far, from the side, or straight on? Yes. How will it look from each perspective? It'll look like if you was to turn your page, after you do your drawing, just turn it at an angle and kind of look at it at an angle, different angles. That's what it will look like on the wall. Consider the team of artists and students you will be working with and incorporate design elements that works with different level of artists. And that's what I was talking about earlier. This is the end segment portion of the, in-person part of this mural workshop. So whatever you design, don't make it too complicated. Don't make it too complicated, but if it is complicated, we'll bring in some help to actually make sure your design is done the best way possible. Best way possible. If we don't have the artist who can do it, if I can't do it or you can't do it, we'll make sure to bring somebody on our team who can. And also taking account of the scale, and that's why I broke up the page in 4 different segments so you can have an idea about the scale. Continue drawing. You can't you can't paint up the columns though. You got to stay within the rectangle. If we was to paint up the columns, I would have columns going up on our canvas, our little pretend wall here. But we won't go up the canvas. Yes, and that's another thing about, I'm reading the chat as y'all continue drawing. Y'all continue drawing. I'm just reading the chat. If if we was to go up the columns, that's something else, those key factors that you got to know about, you know, the space, the size. You have to rent lifts and scaffolding to go up higher. And this space is really perfect for Cutwell for Kids because there's no concerns about people falling off of scaffolding or renting lifts because it's only 4 feet high. At the highest point, it's only 4 feet high, but it's 90 feet long. I'm gonna give y'all 30 minutes just to kind of, I'm gonna check back in like 30 minutes just to see how you guys doing. I'm gonna turn on a little music and I'm gonna doodle myself. How you doing, Amelia? Doing good? All right. I'm gonna show y'all a few images also of the wall actually be out there. I done primed the wall. You have to prepare the wall, even though if you want for it to be permanent, preparation is very important. This will be a permanent mural, so the preparation requires, if you don't prepare it right, it'll fade away. So we had to power wash it. We had to power wash it first. The Arts Council in downtown Little Rock, they power washed it for us and get rid of all the residue or mold or dirt, whatever's on there, they get rid of all of that. And then I came in with an acrylic cement primer. And it's like gesso. Like if you're painting a canvas, you're gonna do some artwork, you want to prepare your canvas for the paint. It's basically like gesso on your canvas. So I'm gonna show you an image of me gessoing the wall. This is the wall after it's been primed. And I wanted to kind of catch a picture with somebody in it as well, so you can get an idea of how high it is and how long it is. But if you can see on the columns, I only went just as high enough. I just went high as the wall. So that's where you see the white stop on the columns. That's how high, that's how far up you can go on the column. Then it stops.
Hey, Anthony, we have someone asking, do you use a certain gesso or what product do you use?
Yes, I use it's from Sherwin-Williams. They have an acrylic primer, outdoor, exterior, cement masonry primer. And this bonds to that concrete or that masonry, where whatever paint that goes on top of that, it'll stick. And if you don't do that, and I've experienced this in the past, well, you have some products that they say that, hey, it's primer built in, you can do, you don't have to prime, take away some steps. But I've seen in the past, people use these products and their paint end up fading. So I extremely express, or please, if you ever do an outdoor mural, power washing and priming. It's extra steps, but hey, you don't want to learn the hard way. After a year or two, your artwork starts fading, especially if somebody's paying you to do it. So you have to go back out there and do some repairs. But I strongly suggest, if it's a concrete masonry wall outdoor, use an acrylic primer, masonry primer. And this type was from Sherwin-Williams. And please, if you have any more questions, please ask. I love the Crayola markers, Sandra Strong.
I'm at work, so I didn't know.
I love the markers. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
I had to borrow from the babies today. I'm kids at school, so
That's part of you know, you try to come up with a design, whatever's handy, whatever's handy.
yes.
It could be Crayola markers, crayons, color pencils, ink pens. Like I promised, I'm gonna turn on a little music.
the best part about a family vacation in Florida? Maybe it's snorkeling and paddling with manatees and dolphins, or the attractions, like the aquariums, zoos, and theme parks. Or maybe it's the 825 miles of beautiful Florida beaches. So what's the best part about a family vacation in Florida? Everything. Follow your sunshine and start planning your vacation at visitflorida.com.
I'm gonna give y'all to 11 o'clock. You have about 20 more minutes. And I would like to see the designs you created so far.
While you guys are working on your murals, I just wanted to take a moment to talk about some of the grants that Arkansas Heritage and Arkansas Arts Council has that could be related to those. We do have a Main Street, Arkansas Historic Preservation Program has a Main Street grant. So if you were working with a city, you would be able to maybe create something or have a match, and they would send out an RFP. Or you could just wait for their RFPs. Cities really apply for this, and then they ask for artists to submit proposals. So we usually have 2 or 3 cities that do this. So this is some of that information. We also have collaborative project grants that have funded things like GetSmART. So give you a little more information about that. These are pretty cool.
And
So-
artists, please take advantage of all the opportunities that Scarlett is offering. There's a lot of different things out there for young artists to
Mhm.
get out there. So
Yeah, we also have arts and education grants that could fund mural projects. And of course, there are other heritage kind of grants like the Curtis Sykes Memorial Grant that funds African American preservation, history, or education, which in the past has funded things like festivals or community murals or even publication of books. So I will drop some of that in there too if you're interested. And of course, if you're interested in some of our other GetSmART workshops, we do have some available on YouTube, including one on social media, using it for marketing, or even one on our grants, which I really do think that more people should take advantage of those, particularly our arts and education grants, which being on the arts and education roster is open until the 1st of July. So And you can find more information by contacting his email.
Quentin, I love you. That's a daughter.
Yes, sir. Say hey,
All right.
Victoria.
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah, man. She's an artist as well. She got to be up on the dad. So I say she's gonna draw her a little picture too, so everybody can see.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Pathways Unlimited. Miss Sean. How y'all doing? Trying to find the mute button. Hey, Sean, how the kids doing?
They don't, it's going.
Okay. Okay.
It's going. Rude. They look pretty good over here.
Okay.
They're coloring.
All right.
Yes, it's a better one.
Few more minutes. I'm gonna continue with the presentation, but I wanted to make sure I get some artwork. Get some
Okay.
artwork. Yes. Hey, Allison. Miss Tucker, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right.
Trying not to make a mess. When I draw fast, it doesn't come out too pretty.
This the mock design process, so it's not it's not the final draft. So.
I know, that's just my perfectionism trying to come out.
Okay. Amelia, you okay? Thumbs up. All right. Now I see somebody named Kat on here. Kat, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Okay. Are you guys? You got something going on?
Yeah, I've got it going on.
All right. All right. I really want to spend this time people to actually create, because I can go on with a presentation and at the end of the presentation, we won't have no designs. So I wanted to make sure I have a product. We can produce a product within this 2 hours. We'll go 7 more minutes. About 4 more minutes, 4 or 5 more minutes.
question.
Okay.
Are we gonna, how will we do this? Will it be like stencils or a projector where we put it on the wall, or what's the best way to get your mural from the piece of paper onto a wall?
Yes, that's at the I was gonna get to that part, the in-person segment of the workshop, but the best way for me is I love hands-on. I don't like using, some people use projectors to speed up the process, but I do a grid system. And that's what the in-person segment is going to be. It's going to be gridded out, it's going to with numbers on it. So when everybody comes to the public, where everybody get a chance to actually help out painting the mural on the wall, you will have a certain segment of the wall you'll go to. And you just be color coded. You have a number or section to go to on the wall, and that's how we're going to enlarge it. We'll take your drawing on the little horizontal, little small rectangle. I'll put a grid over the top of it, blow it up, and put numbers in the box. Then I transfer that to the wall.
So like you'll have a grid and then you'll draw it out and then we would come and just paint it, or how would that?
Yes, well, if you get there first, I'll be there when at 9 o'clock it starts, and the grid would already be on the wall. It'll already be broke out in sections, and like a tattoo. You remember how you play X's and O's, but it'd be a big grid all the way across the wall, and then also your design, whatever design is chosen, I'll put it in the computer and it'll put a grid on top of that. And then I'll enlarge it. It may be 500 little boxes, X's and O's, but 500 boxes with numbers on. And then we'll take the drawing and you just go to that box and draw whatever line is in that box. And that's gonna be the very first part. At 9 o'clock, that's what I'm gonna do first, is draw the design. Then we'll break it up then from the drawing the design to painting the lines of the drawing, then actually painting. Filling in the square.
So that's one way of doing it. What about those other options? Do you know?
Oh
if
yes,
people
I've done the
do that?
projector. I've done the projector, blow it up with a projector before. It's faster, but it takes away from the human aspect of things. I've done the project, and then I always did freehand before I even got more in depth with creating murals. I used to just freehand, but that comes with a lot of practice and experience. You just got a good grasp of a proportion. And
What about stencils? Is that something?
stencils is great too. I've used stencils before. I have a company here in Hot Springs. I can send them a drawing and they perforate it. Like they'll cut out all the holes. They'll cut just the contour lines of your drawing. And you can stick it on the wall and you can throw powder in those perforated holes. And once you pull that back, you have your drawing on the wall. Yes, but the way we're going to do it on the 25th is the gridded system.
I'm just curious about the other systems, like the I haven't heard of the powder one before.
It's kind of old, it's
Is it paper that's the stencil, or are you using some sort of plastic?
It's like it could actually be I have used like poster board, and I cut the lines out. I draw the contour lines of the drawing, and then it's like a dabber. I can dab on everything that I cut out, and then actually leave a mark on the wall. Then when I take that poster board off of there, the drawing is there.
I've used that method. Sorry, hi, this is Lauren. It's really good for I equate it to like making pumpkins at Halloween. You put the stencil on the piece of paper on the pumpkin, and you put little holes all the way where you want it to cut. That's essentially what you're doing, is you're making that pattern with the stencil.
I've never done that with a pumpkin. I just attack it with a knife.
Well, see, Scarlett, you were talented like that. You're talented like that. I wanted to do it the most basic way possible where it won't be too complicated. And but you know, sometimes that's the stencils a lot easier, but for some reason, I like hands-on, like maybe how they did it back in the ancient days. I have an image I'm gonna show you how the Egyptians did it on side of pyramids, where they stand back from it, and every fist is like 6 parts of a human body. And that's how the gridded system came about. You know, don't quote me on that, but that's how I look at it. The Egyptians used to draw in large scales, and they used to stand back and use their fists. And then when they go up to the wall, they'll mark it off and it turn it into a grid. So that's my favorite way. I'm gonna show you that picture. You done took half my presentation, Scar.
Well, we can do it again at the next one because.
All right. Okay, are y'all ready to show me what you're working with? It don't have to be complete right now, but I just like to, if you can, put your pictures up to the camera. I like to see a few. Awesome, LaQuint.
Oh, ooh, I like
Wow, wow. That's what I'm talking about. Man, make me want to cry. Yes. Great job, Amelia. Yes. One. Nice. Nice. Great job. Elena, I haven't spoke to you yet. Is that Elena? Yes. Well, you have time, and you also have time to color it. I'm gonna go on into the presentation. Yes, great job. Pathways Unlimited. I see several over there. I don't know, Yelena. Okay, it's kind of blurring out, but I got you. Yeah.
Hey, Anthony, could you let me in? Unfortunately, using this on my computer, the webcam is not working, so I'm gonna try to join on my phone.
Okay, Lauren.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
I love the feet, Allison. Cat, awesome butterflies. I see Dewan. I see you, little man. All right, all right. Yes, I'm gonna put my reactions up there too. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna move on. And y'all can continue, you can continue to fine tune it, or if you want to make a different one, that's fine. I'm gonna go on with the presentation. Once again, great job. We have made time is like those key factors in doing a mural. Time. You can spend, man, I've spent months just trying to come up with the idea to do a mural. So I appreciate you guys coming up with something so fast. But and thank you. So can you imagine your drawing on this wall? I can see it. I can see it. I'm a visual learner. I like to be hands-on, but I can actually picture y'all guys, your pictures on this mural. And it's gonna be there for a long time. So hopefully, well, I know one of your designs will be chosen. And if your design is not chosen, you are still welcome to come down and help us put the mural on the wall. Now I'm gonna get a little bit more in depth. A little bit more in depth. Pathways Unlimited. Sean, can you hear me? Everybody, can you hear me? I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, because I've taught class. I know some teachers on here too as well. I really need a clear reading of their name on the back of their artwork. If you have to write it, Sean, it's great. But I really need their name, correct spelling on the back of their artwork. And that's for everybody. And I'm gonna go into the proposal phase of it, because I have to give y'all some serious education. That was fun. Sometimes creating artwork is fun, but when you wanna do a mural for like the downtown Little Rock, sometimes you have to submit a proposal. So I'm gonna go in a little bit more in depth with this project. So give me a second, I have to find it, presentation. So I want everybody's name on it, on their artwork, spelled correctly, and a way of contacting you. Can y'all see the screen right now? Scarlett, can you see my screen? Yes, I can't see you guys.
I lied. I can't see your screen. I only see the gallery. I was like, oh, I
Okay.
see a screen. Oh.
Okay, here we go. It's technology. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm not asking everybody to do this, but I just want to, if you never done a mural before and you want to further your career or start trying to submit your designs to other organizations, this is a basic format, and I have Scarlett, or I can send it to you, of how you submit your design. And I'm just going to read the first part off of it to you. Keep everything short. This is something about you, the artist, and talking about your design. Keep everything short, clear, and well written. Spelling and punctuation are equally important. If they like the idea, they will know. If they like the idea, they will, no matter how much you try to make it look even better. If they don't, they won't, no matter how much you try to convince them. And keep in mind, sometimes they have to go through 20, 30, 50, or even hundreds of applications. These are the proposals you'll turn in. Not today, but I'm just saying in the future, if you decide to keep on going and want to do another mural for somebody else. They like to see someone presenting a good project, but keeping everything clear and only giving the necessary information. Then every application is different. Some applications require you to have a design ready for it, some not. Some want the single images of your past work, some want them all together. You must read through the specifications of submission and be sure you give them what they want. No more, no less. No need to put your contact information on there because it's already on your resume, on the cover letter, and in the email. Now, artist statements, like I had you guys make sure you put your name on back of your work, contact information, but all artists should have some type of artist statement about themselves. You have to write a short statement, not longer than 8 lines, about you as an artist, not your curriculum or your experience, but what drives you as an artist. And then your design. Here you explain your design. What you created today, explain why did you create it? Why you choose this kind of design? Why you think this design worked well with what they requested or what that wall in terms of proportion and kind of surface it is. Include some images and maybe some renderings of the image on the wall too. And the timeline. If they accept or when you turn it in your proposal to do a mural, they always want a timeline. Give them an estimated time of how long it would take to you to have the final design. Because usually you don't submit a final design since you still don't know if you will get the commission, but a design that is only partially finished. And how long will it take for you to complete the mural on site? Make sure you let them know the type of materials you would need: priming, painting, and eventually might be some clear coat that may go over the top of the mural. And you always put in your budget of your artist fees and the materials and the cost.
So when you're talking about your budget, how do you come up with your value? Do you do the inch or foot?
Yes, also experience. You know, you got to know your own personal value. uh, how many hours and time, how many murals you've done in the past. You got to know your own value. I go by square footage. If it's real complicated, if they want realism, or if the mural is very complex, my artist fees, my labor can go from $10 per square foot to $75 per square foot. That's where my expertise fall in. That's how much my value is. For other artists, it could be out the roof. It could be $500 per square foot. But you got to know your value. And then with materials is your paint, your brushes. If it requires a lift, scaffolding, ladders, every material you use, that'll come in your budget. And Scarlett, did I answer that correctly?
Yes. Yeah.
If you've never done a mural before and you want to start out, you want to start seeking jobs, they have where you have to submit a proposal. And I will email you anybody interested, I would email you this template. This is what I've used before. And it works very well, and it's pretty simple. But I had to find out what my value was and as an artist. And you go by a square foot. Some painters who just professional painters who paint walls for a living, paint interior walls, houses, they charge by the square foot. But a visual artist can do the same thing. Any questions on that? This is something we don't have to have today, but I wanted to share this with you. So all your artworks that you submit to me today in an email or a text message, please make sure their name is spelled properly on it. You can put their age, and maybe a few words about the artist. Say a few things about yourself. That'll be great. But thankful for the Arts Council and the Downtown Little Rock Partnership. They made this process a whole lot easier by bringing in Cutwell for Kids, myself, and giving this opportunity to you guys to streamline the process. Because sometimes this process can be very difficult.
Do we use the questions on the template to in the email?
Where are you at? Say that again.
The questions that you asked in the template, do you want us to answer those questions like in the email? Like how long it'll take and stuff like that?
No, ma'am. That's just for future references. If you want a career, if you want to seek out more murals for opportunity for a job, or if you have to submit a proposal, that is what the format should look like, a basic format. For this project here, you do not have to. Now, the Arts Council and the Downtown Little Rock Partnership have streamlined that process. Only thing we need is your design, your name, contact information, and I would love a statement about yourself. I would love a statement about yourself. But if you want to further your career in doing this on a professional level, we have a template for you to follow. And I would share, I would share that template with you. And Scarlett just put something in the chat. And you can actually, I'm glad I brought it up because the more formal, it's a formal process to get your mural selected. And I hope I can help out today as a basic mural one-on-one, giving you a heads up so it won't be as complicated. All right. Move on. Any more questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
I was wondering, what is the difference between using spray paint for murals and regular paint? And do you have a preference? And like,
Yes, well, my expertise is in acrylic paint. I'm not that great at, I used to use spray paint, but that's not my expertise. that's I think it's faster. Sometimes I think it's faster, but that's out my
Well, it does look different too, but I was just wondering, like, as far as like
it
staying
looks
power, and I've seen more and more art supply stores carrying, specific paints for murals, but in the spray paint form. So I was just curious about the material.
yes. I'm not that great at that. I'm not the one to speak on the spray paint artists, but I do appreciate, man, the new tools. Like you go in the Hobby Lobby or Michael's nowadays, they do have the spray paint there. And it's amazing how fast it is, and how the blending and they especially work with stencils. They use stencils a lot, but that's just out my expertise, Scarlett. I'm
So
I'm
what do
too
you
busy.
like about the acrylic paint you use? And I'm assuming that's the plastic paint and not the oil based, right?
Right, it's acrylic. It's sometimes I use oil base because I wanted to make sure it covers up whatever is, even the primer, but the prime wall, but sometimes I use oil base because sometimes it's opaque. But it's the cleanup is horrible. It's hard to clean. But working with kids, I use the water base outdoor. But I have used the oil-based acrylic paints before, and I like it because it's so dense, so opaque. But the cleanup is horrible. Getting it off your hands, and if you waste it.
And you use a paintbrush, right?
I use paintbrush. I'm
So-
such a control freak.
So-
Yeah, so I don't even use too much of watercolor because I be wanting to control watercolor when I'm painting in my studio. Uh, Sometimes it has a mind of its own, and
So what do you
I
like
like
about the paintbrush effect? This is just the control, or does it have a
It's the-
different aesthetics?
it's the aesthetics, the control. I don't know why. I just feel like I have to have that touch. I love the paintbrush to feel. I like to feel the bristles go up against the canvas or up against the wall, whereas it coming out of a spray can. I rather feel the bristles go up against the wall. Yeah, but I'm also experimenting with spray paint and other different mediums. But mural painting, it's been straight acrylic, water-based paint, exterior. And that's what we'll use on the 25th. We'll use the water-based acrylic exterior paint on the wall. I lost my screen. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna keep going to the next step. I'm gonna show you a few images of what I've done in the past as well. Okay, now you understand the proposal part of it, going more in depth, putting the artist statement in there, what drives you as an artist, timeline, how long it's gonna take for you to finish, the artist statement. Give me a second to get there. Okay, the in-person segment of on June 25th, when we actually go out there, Scarlett, this is the gridded. If you can look at the picture, he has numbers at the top of on the top of the mural. And this is how we'll do it on the 25th. It'll be all squared off, 1 foot by 1 foot squares, and it has a number at the top. And when people get there, if you get there early enough, you can be part of the drawing process. If you get there past the drawing process, we'll start painting. And don't worry about it, mistakes. We can fix those. That's something I like about paint. You don't erase, but you can prime over, start over again. But enlarging the design, using the gridding system, drawing can be done with large playground chalk. and then tightened up with a paintbrush and thin acrylic paint. And that's exactly what we'll do on June 25th. We'll take your drawing, which you created today, we'll make a 1 foot by 1 foot boxes grid all across that wall. And everybody who comes that day will have a section to go and paint. And don't worry about if you're not an artist, if you can't follow the squares, it's fine. We'll fix it. We want more of we want you to have a good time, get a great understanding of what's going on. Okay, I got somebody
What is
hand.
yeah, it's me. What's the grid made out of? Like is it painted on, or is it charcoal, or is it chalk like the rest of it?
I have, in the past, this one here will be made out of sidewalk chalk, or I've used color pencils, whatever's handy. I've used whatever's handy to put the grid up, because it's just temporary. It's gonna be soft. It's gonna be covered up with paint anyway. But I have used in the past sidewalk chalk. I have used crayon. I have used color pencil, and I have just used a pencil before. So it's gonna be a light colored grid that is temporary, and they'll be easily covered up with the paint that we use. Great question, Scarlett. Keep asking the questions for me. And this is one, I didn't do this, but this is one done by Downtown Partnership, right, Scarlett?
I think so.
This is downtown Little Rock, and this is like a community mural build. And like I said, it's simple but complex and very colorful. And it's easy to accomplish. Simple but complex, and it's achievable, especially if we only have one day to complete it. These are things that I've done in the past.
We do have a question. How does outside temperature and other weather impact painting?
Oh man, great question. We talked about this earlier. Now, the heat doesn't really, I like heat. Well, I'm gonna take that back. I rather, if you're gonna paint, it's best to do it in the summertime. Because if you do it in the wintertime, the paint acts funny. Oh, it moves slow and it's cold. But in the summertime, the paint moves fast and it dries fast. But it can wear you down physically. So if it's hot on the 25th, I suggest you wear nice, comfortable clothes, have a lot of water. But the paint works better in the heat to me.
What about the fall? That would seem like the perfect time.
Yes, fall is great. Perfect. The fall is perfect. Never know, like rain comes to play. And if you got a deadline to meet, some things are out of your control. So you got to think about fall, summer, winter. Things can come to play where you won't be able to get, you won't be able to finish you won't be able to honor your deadline. So you have to put that in your proposal. Because the fall, spring, summer is great. Nobody wants to paint outside the summertime, but I'm pretty good in the summertime when it's hot.
Yes.
I work better. This was outside at Jones Park here in Hot Springs. It was a masonry wall. And I have to always recognize my Italian brother from another mother, because he's from Italy. We had a partnership with the not Arkansas Community Foundation, but the Cultural Alliance. And we did this mural together in the summertime. Miss Scarlett, we did this one in the summertime. And oh, it got up to 100 degrees. But man, the paint was working. The paint was fabulous. I mean, it worked well. But I always got to give credit to Pepe Guac. He took, when you partner and collaborate with people, it increase your knowledge, your capacity, and even your skill level be pushed to another level. And he pushed my skill level he pushed it higher. And I worked from the bottom, he worked from the top. And we end up, he worked from the left side, I worked from the right, and we met each other in the middle. But most of the details were done by Pepe. But man, whenever you partner with somebody and collaborate, it just makes things easier, better, and then increase your knowledge. Your capacity grows. It's another same picture, kind of let you know about the scale of how big it was. He made me paint myself. That's me back there. This is on the side of our studio. Here in Hot Springs, we did the color crayons, painted a few of the kids on the wall. It's the front of our studio. We let the kids do a mural on the front. They wanted to do the icons, the flowers, like on your text messages. These are the icons for flowers and butterflies. And they painted it on front of the studio. And I have also done basketball mascots for high schools. This is Moralton Devil Dogs. I painted their mascot. I freehanded that one, Scarlett. But
Wow. You got the
use
letters even. Like I would think letters would be really hard to do
I use the
freehand.
level. I have a little 4-foot level. I use the level and drew it out with the level. So I can, yeah, didn't use the grid system on that one though. But you gotta look, I wanted to show you this picture because we don't need scaffolding, but you can see how dangerous it can be. I'm thankful for the space which donated for us is only 4 foot tall. And it was a horrible time, the George Floyd incident. The kids wanted to express themselves, but like you said, you gotta have permission to paint on somebody's property. So Cutwell for Kids always supplies walls, portable walls we can set up and let the kids express themselves. So that was a great day. They painted George Floyd and I Can't Breathe. So public art plays a huge part in our community.
Hey, what's a portable wall?
That's something C4K is known for. Actually, I've never heard of it before. Scarlett is something I don't want to take nobody's credit, but when there was no walls for me to paint on. So I was always painting on the inside our studio walls. So I created a way to paint outside. I build these walls at festivals, art festivals, and actually paint live while people walking around. And you can set them up just like a booth. It's like a vendor's booth, but my vendor's booth I can paint on. And I can take them up, take them down the same day. So C4K is known for their portable mural walls. Oh, we got a chat. I'm gonna stop sharing a little bit. Okay. What time? It's 11:33.
11:32 on my end.
11:32. Yes, please check out Cutwell for Kids on Facebook. And we can bring these portable mural walls anywhere in Arkansas or out of state. I've been to Dermont, Dumas, Pine Bluff, Conway, Moralton. Upper Bound uses us a lot for in the summertime, these summer activities. I go to
Are you on the teaching roster?
I used to be, Scarlett. I used to be, but my job has required so much out of me lately that I can't dedicate my time for it. But yes, and any artists on here, please, Dewan, LaQuinta, any artists on here interested, please get with Scarlett and get on the arts roster. That's where I started my career. My career was started from, Janet Perkins was working for the Art Council, and I went down there, I said, Janet, I want to do an art show. I'm an artist. And the first thing she told me to do was register with the Arts Council. So a lot of collaborations and partnerships and opportunities that have presented itself since. And I'm so thankful.
We have someone asking, once the mural is complete, what kind of sealer or clear coat are you going to use, and how are you going to apply it?
You know, technology, I can't think of the name of the products right now, but it's a clear coat that we use it's very expensive. I can't think of the name of it, but you can roll, it's a clear coat, you roll it on there, just like if you doing a primer, but it's once it dries, it's clear. And you actually can come behind it and spray paint on it. And you can take a water hose and wash that spray paint off of it. That's if the budget allows. But yes, all the paint that we're using may not need a clear, it may be built into it, but we usually always put a clear coat on ours. But it just depends on your budget, because that you can get a 5-gallon bucket of the clear coat that I'm talking about. It may cost you $400 for a 5-gallon bucket. But the technology it's amazing to see what the youth is coming up with to make murals permanent. Because you'll think about people like vandalism, you have to have permission to paint on somebody's building, but that's not going to stop everybody from you can't stop that. So, but you can try to prevent it most as possible, or use a product that's won't allow for it to stay on. And I can't think of the name of it. I will send it to you though, but it's a clear coat. It's something called graffiti, but you can take a water hose and wash it straight off. Okay. So I'm gonna ask everybody that make sure your name is on your artwork. I'm gonna put my email in the chat for everyone to see, and my phone number. And I want you to send your final design by the end of the day. I want you to send it to my email and text it to my phone. And within 2 weeks, you will know if your design was chosen. Any questions, comments?
What's all on the paper besides their name on the back?
I would love, I would like to know how old they are, and a few sentences about them. Why they like to draw, why they like to paint. If possible.
All right. Okay.
If it's not, if you can't do it in the classroom, it's fine. But I really need their name and age.
Okay.
Name, age, and put down where they're from.
All right.
And they can just submit what we did today in class, right?
Yes, and that's I want to see the design that they created during this workshop. That's why I spent more time just with the music playing and them creating than me trying to spend an hour explaining everything. I needed a product today. I want to honor our deadline, and the deadline was to create a design by 12 o'clock today. And I would like for you to take a horizontal picture, not a portrait. You can take your cell phone. If you don't have a scanner, scanners is always better. If you can scan it and email it to me, that's better. But if you can't, a lot of times with Cutwell for Kids, sometimes we don't have scanners around. We got to use whatever tools we have. So me folding the paper in 4 sections and using a cell phone to take the picture, sometimes that's all we have to work with. And I make the best of it. I wanted to keep it simple. So you take if you don't have a scanner, use your cell phone, turn it horizontal and try to get it flat as possible. And once you take a picture.
We do have a question. Is it okay if they just put the information into the email when they send it to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that makes, makes a lot more sense, Carla.
Oops.
Yeah.
Can you put your email and text back in it again real quick?
Yes, I can, Amelia.
And also you guys can save the chat again by going to the chat and then clicking on the 3 dots on the right beside the smiley face man. And it just says saves chat. So then you would have all of the information we've dropped during this workshop.
And I'm used to working with art at its rawest form. This is raw as I can get. I'm so glad y'all was on and able to create something on that little old section of the paper. I used to doodle whatever I had. If it was a napkin, church program while I'm sitting in church, I had to doodle on something. So I really appreciate you guys working with the parameters that I displayed today. Thank you, Ms. McNair. Yeah, I'm reading the chats. Appreciate you all. LaQuinta.
Yes, sir.
You good? You got my email address, phone number?
Hey, I got everything, you know, so I'm finished with mine.
Oh, awesome. And we can scale those up
Yes,
to that
sir.
wall. We may incorporate too. I don't want to guarantee anything. It's out of my control. They have a board that's going to choose the drawing. But please don't be upset. I used to be so emotional when people don't like my artwork. But this is part of it. If you want to continue your career as an artist, art is subjective. And sometimes it's not about if they don't like it or not. It's just if it's a good fit. Will it be a good fit in this location? So please don't be feeling bad if it's not chosen. And then you also still welcome to come out and help paint. I had to learn that the hard way. I always took my feelings. You gotta get your feelings out of it and just create. You do a piece of artwork and you move on.
So true. Oh, we have a little bit more time. Does anybody have any questions? Like things I haven't thought of? And
I got one question. So with our drawings, would we be able to like explain what it is that we had drew? Because I know a lot of drawings, and when I do draw something, I have like meaning behind it. I have like a concept. And most drawings don't have like a concept behind it. So
that's awesome, Dewan. That's the artist statement. Please put that in the email. You can put it in there with. It's great that you're thinking like that, because in the future you do a proposal for a mural. They may want to know a little bit about you. Why did you choose this piece of art? Why did you draw this? So that's great, Mr. Wilson. And I will send Scarlett, can I send you the template for the proposal and you can shoot it to everybody? And Mr. Wilson, please follow that basic template. It'll take you a long way, especially when you get with the Arts Council and want to be on the Arts Council roster. They gonna want an artist statement.
we often have writer's statement workshops that are free. So we'll probably have another one in the fall, but for this particular one, you don't have to have anything, or you can put something, just put it in the email or write it out, send it to us, text it. We'd love to hear from you. It really does help to know the artist and the story behind it. Art is a lot about storytelling. Hey, we got another question. How long will the mural last? And will we need to do periodic touch-ups?
The murals I've worked on in the past with the materials that we're using will last, I'm not gonna say a lifetime. I go about the specifications on the paint bucket, 20 years. They at least give a guarantee of 20 years. You do have people that vandalize, come by, and if you don't have that clear coat on there, you would have to come back and touch it up. But if the finances or if the budget allows, we'll put a clear coat on there and it'll last, I want to say a lifetime, but people's lifetimes changes. I say 20 years, it'll be brilliant. I want to show one that I did outside. It's very old, but still holding this color. So I'm gonna share my screen. See it. It's on a planner. But the paint that I use this planner here is still that color today. If you come to Hot Springs on Malvern Avenue and Malvern, on the corner of Malvern and Maurice, you ride by there today, it's still that brilliant. And with the technology that the paint is on, 20 years, it'll look like that 20 years from today. It has some barriers built into the chemicals, and it won't fade. It's water resistant, and that's been up for several years. So this is a permanent mural. This is a permanent mural. Who's to say, 10 years from now, somebody might paint over it though. But right now it's permanent. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm receiving submissions right now. So thank you. Make sure. Yes. Awesome. So please, Sean, Pathways Unlimited.
Yes,
Please make sure you submit all those designs, because
we will.
even if they're not chosen, we may do something here in Hot Springs for them as well with the portable mural. I can have a separate class and let them show their artwork downtown at the Arts Festival. So please send those to me.
Oh, I will.
All right. I don't want no.
If I have to, I'll drop them off to you if I have to.
Okay. I'm here to 12 o'clock. I can show you some more of my artwork if you like. Well, I'm gonna talk about the in-person segment. 9 o'clock, we're gonna start drawing. The grid would already be on the wall. There'll be a lot of squares already on the wall. And we'll start drawing the design with like chalk or color with a pencil. And it shouldn't take maybe 2 hours. I don't want the design to be too complicated. If it's not too complicated, with enough people, we can get on that wall and we can have that drawing knocked out in less than 2 hours. And once the drawing is done, we tighten it up real good. We start painting. And the younger kids would do a lot of the negative space, the block out the art, block the colors, the huge part of colors. We have the young kids do that part. And then we even let them try and stay within the lines. But if their hand-eye coordination is not strong enough, we may have some of the older artists to come in and fine tune it.
What is negative space? Can you describe that for people?
Yes, negative space is not the actually object that you drawn. It's the stuff in the background that's just as important. The negative space is just as important as a positive space or the subject, but the negative space is the background. Like if you're looking at me right now, the negative space is everything blurred out. And I'm the object. So we may have the kids come in and paint all the negative space. If it's just, colors, a basic color, we have them paint the basic color. Then the more experienced artists that get with the detail, we may bring them in. And I don't want to say a certain age because I've seen kids draw better than me. So more meticulous, more accurate. So.
And the paint day is open to anyone, like anyone who wants to come. We would love to have you. It'd be great to be able to see artists and network and build a stronger community. So just come.
Yeah. I see someone from Oregon is on. Thank you for joining us.
I know, right?
Wow. And I would give y'all to the end of the day. I say 11 o'clock tonight, to submit that. If if you want to fine tune it some more, you need a little bit more time. But after 12 o'clock tonight, I'm gonna stick with those designs that were submitted. And that's what I would give to Scarlett in downtown Little Rock to choose which one.
What has been the favorite mural project that you've worked on?
Hands down, Pepe Guac. P-E-P-E, last name is G-A-K-A. He's an Italian artist from Italy. He lives in Italy. He did murals on the tallest buildings overseas. And he came over here, didn't speak, I speak English, but it's broken. I'm doing my best to articulate this workshop the best I can, but, and he speaks a little English as well, but we mostly felt each other. Pepe Guac, we did the Broadway mural. I'm gonna pull it back up. But this, hands down, my favorite. He showed me so much. I learned so much by just watching. Not necessarily he's telling me to do anything, but something about the art gods, the art world, we just felt each other. Let me find it. Well, here it is here. This actually was out there where we even let the kids help out with this mural. But this is hands down, it's Broadway mural here in Hot Springs on Malvern Avenue, across from Hotel Hot Springs. It took us 2 months to complete it. And I had a personal transformation while I was painting it, because we was actually painting people that's alive today. So hands down, this was my favorite. And I thank Pepe Guac for everything he showed me. We didn't speak much, we didn't talk much, but the art bring everybody together. It brought us together in a way that we didn't have to communicate with each other. We just painted. And I have to give all the credit. I think it's one of the main reasons why I'm here today is because of this mural. So you never know where your artwork will take you, especially like if you was your design to get chosen for this project, you never know where else it'll lead to. And I feel like my career took off when I partnered with Pepe Guac and we did this mural. So Scarlett, the Broadway mural is my favorite. I'm gonna try to, and I want to show how the Egyptians used to do the large scale drawings with the scale. If you see on top of it, they use the scales long time, ancient days. They block it off as well, the grid system. Oh, I may not have it in here. I don't. But the Broadway mural, Scarlett, is my favorite. It means so much to me. And then the neighborhood, you always think about the community in the context of where it's at. It means so much to me. So. All right.
We have a few more questions. Does anybody have, we have a few more minutes. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm gonna let young artists know though, anytime you have a chance to partner, collaborate, or assist an artist that's already established, it'll do wonders for your career. It'll open up your mind in different ways. Where it did for me, the opportunities may come about that he may not be able to be here to, because we wanted him to host this workshop, but he's on a different time in Italy. Anytime you get a chance to work with a professional is always great. And Scarlett, I'd like to say thank you for helping me host this workshop and the Arts Council. I appreciate you guys. I also like to thank Downtown Little Rock partnership. There's no way possible people just donating space for us to paint on. So I want to give them their credit. And everyone that's on that took their time out to draw with us today. And I wish everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, we had another question about, did you talk about Birth of an Artist event? I guess you didn't. So
Okay.
would you talk about
The Birth of an Artist has been going on for 8 years. No, going on 10 years. I'm so used to saying 8, but it's going on 10 years now that I give an opportunity for youth to actually sell their artwork. And that's usually the second Saturday of August every year. But the Birth of Artists is changing. It's evolving now. The Birth of an Artist starts today. So whoever asked that question, when is the birth of an artist? It starts today. It starts today. You're welcome. Hey, all my knees. Okay. Yes. Good to see you, Kiara. Once again, I'd like to thank all y'all for spending y'all time. And we have a product. You know, usually I can doodle for hours. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome.
I love the class. I love you guys.
Wait, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Submit all your work. But I know. Aw. So I guess if you guys don't have any questions, we'll just wrap up. I'm really excited about this. All of your work is looking amazing. And again, if it's not chosen, it's not you, it's them.
Right.
So right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you have any questions, make sure to I guess email me or email Anthony, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. And other than that, I look forward to seeing everybody at the June 25th community painting. So bring family, bring your friends. We'll party paint. So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye.
Wait,